Back with more sex education. This is episode 6 of season 2. Very excited to continue, see what's going to be happening next. Everything's a mess. All the romances are going down the toilet or being strained in one way or the other. And yeah, it's a bit of a mess right now. So whatever is going to happen, it's probably going to get even worse, let's be frank, because we've still got 3 episodes left of the season. So anything can still happen. This show truly is unpredictable in terms of what they may even show, etc, etc. But yeah, I'm, as ever, loving the show and looking forward to eventually catching up, which will be fairly soon, I hope. Obviously, we are now into September. As I'm recording this, it's 2 weeks to the day that Sex Education Season 3 comes out on Netflix. So that would be an average of me like getting this done now and then doing an episode next week and the week after, which I could feasibly do. I don't know for sure I am going to do it. I'm hoping to be caught up in time. But either way, I'm still just going to be regularly featuring it on the channel anyway. I'm not like binging the series when it comes out. So it will take my time to get through it anyway. And also the 17th, which is the day it comes out, that is my birthday weekend. It's my birthday on the 19th, so I might be a bit busy around the time it drops anyway, so it may not even be like I could immediately get to it. But I have had a few people asking me like, oh, are you going to catch up in time, are you going to do this, are you going to do that? And yeah, the kind of plan is to be caught up in time, but if I'm not, I'm going to be busy around that point anyway, so it's not necessarily going to be the end of the world. And we still have months and months of goodness with the show, now that we can extend into it. But I'm glad I'm mostly through season 2 as season 3 is coming out. I think we're going to be in a good spot either way. So yes, I'm excited to see what's going to be happening next, and let's jump into the next one. Oh.
Hello?
Help! I've been mugged.
Oh. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh god.
We can start training again this week. Maybe tomorrow evening.
Fuck.
I'm gonna have a small gathering of friends at my house tonight. A party!
Uh-oh.
A small gathering, and...
Well, that's going to be a fucking disaster.
How you doing? I have to...
Oh god.
Prawn cocktail? No. I can't deal with the smell of fish before lunch.
Oh.
Polly, I can smell it from here.
You can move too, buddy.
I've looked it up online, every website says something different. Listen to me. I cannot, under any circumstances, shit myself. Let me do some research. I'll get back to you.
I mean,
Also, I'm
it's a good motto.
Oh, it was the prawn cocktail sandwich.
Uh-oh. Looks like you're going to need to get Maeve.
We broke up too.
Oh, I'm so sorry. He didn't tell you. Well, he doesn't tell me much these days, and...
Because you wrote a book about it last time.
sometimes I will.
If I'm not cooking the roast chicken, what are people going to eat? Crisps. Just crisps. What's going on? I'm teaching Otis how to douche.
But we're not leaving that.
Doesn't get an invite.
Yeah, but I know that he wants you there. I think that you two really need to talk.
Agreed? Uh-oh. Private and confidential, Otis. Oh god, is he going to want the notes on his wife as well? Well, soon to be ex-wife.
What is the most common drug used in the UK?
Ibuprofen.
Incorrect. Quissets, over to you.
Amy.
It's not only one drug. It's paracetamol. Trust me.
Paracetamol.
And the Mordell quiz heads are through to the final.
I would have said paracetamol. Am I a genius too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh damn. Nice of literally everyone in the world to wait and arrive at the same time.
You've been crying?
Allergies.
Uh-oh.
I'm really fun at parties. People can't get enough of me.
I always believe people who say that about themselves, yeah.
People sound terrible at making decisions. They usually just have a like us.
I feel like he's going to stir the pot though.
I'll have one there soon. Thank you.
I love that these two are friends. This is wholesome.
I sometimes get worried that I'm going to end up like my poor old Auntie Gladys.
What happened to her?
She choked to death on a microwave dinner.
What?
Nobody found her for 2 weeks.
Really?
Oh, Gladys.
Here's to Auntie Gladys then.
To Auntie Gladys.
To Auntie Gladys.
Did you guys used to go out or something? So,
Shit stirring already. He's not even in the party yet.
So I'm assuming it was you who was the breaker of hearts.
Okay, we're done.
Surprised she wasn't like, just tip him, lads.
Be yourself, right? You'll be fine.
I just realised that your class is gone. That's great news.
Yeah, back to prison for me. I'm joking. Go and get your man.
I love those two.
Things are a bit weird between us right now.
That's me.
Your boyfriend?
No.
In fact, he looks a little bit like me, but less interesting. Which means I must really, really be on time.
Hey, Isaac. Why are you in a wheelchair?
There's no.
Fine. Which is your favourite colour?
Oh, probably seafoam green.
No, on the cube.
Oh, we should go dancing.
It was only a fantasy.
No, I know. Let's go.
I love that they're showing like, oh, the adults go partying as well. It doesn't just stop. No.
What you said?
Oh no.
You squat.
Oh, I can smell it.
You squat.
I don't think we can be friends anymore. It's too confusing.
Oh,
Lily, can we just talk?
but you can be more than friends. Oh god. Is he having an attack?
There you are. You need to rescue me from Zex.
This fucking pressure.
Oh.
It's okay.
What is wrong with you?
Oh god.
You know, you say you haven't got any friends because you're too busy, but it's actually because you're a fucking robot.
Thanks a lot, Jackson.
He's very good at acting drunk, I will say that. Uh-oh. Oh god. Oh no. What an absolute mess.
Steve, I don't like you touching me anymore.
I'm your boyfriend.
I don't think I want a boyfriend. I'm sorry.
Oh god. Oh. Yes. Oh man. Oh, this guy's the master at bad timing, isn't he? He's gonna burn the fucking house down.
You see, I need to know how to douche. Why can't you talk to your boyfriend about this? Stop coming to the window.
Oh, he sounded so sad.
You bullied me for years, Adam.
There is that.
You made me feel unsafe for years. You were one of the main reasons I wasn't kind to myself. It's about me again. I'm scared. And I think I'm bisexual.
Well, I
Are you alright?
kind of got that, yeah. Oh boy.
Raheem can hold my hand. I feel like everyone hates me.
Oh, I don't want him to make Eric feel like he's trapped though. Ooh. Can we go back to Maureen drunk dancing now?
I'm going to tell everyone because I can.
Oh well, that's not going to go well. Oh.
I like Maeve a lot more than I like Ola.
Oh. Drunk Otis is a bit of a dick.
Good boyfriend. I think she's probably the most selfish person I've ever met. And I think it's good that I'm not going out with either of them because...
Oh, stop fucking talking.
What
What's that from?
You absolute knob. I know you're drunk, but what a knob.
Anwar, I didn't know how to do any of that stuff either. I'll show you if you want. Okay. Yeah. Alright, let's go.
Well, that's one thing resolved in this messy, messy episode.
What are you doing here?
I didn't want to go home. Why'd you throw your shit at me?
I'm angry.
Do you want to go and smash some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah! These two need to be best friends. He fucking roast a chicken. Oh my god. Oh, on her own. No. Oh. Oh, bless her.
So of course I wanted to prove I was braver and get all the way up to the top, which did. And then I fell.
Oh man.
That's it. That's the story.
She used to sleep a lot back then. And I tried to make myself beans on toast.
Oh,
Got
damn.
an ambulance.
Must have been some hot beans. That Otis guy wouldn't understand this shit. He wouldn't get it. It's not in his little world.
See?
She's got family problems too.
I don't know if he's kind of nice sometimes,
I meant to make sure you
or
survive.
extremely manipulative. I feel like he's the kind of guy who's like, I'm nice 10% of the time, so I'm allowed to be an asshole 90% of the time. You know, that's the vibe I get.
So, okay.
Believe me, I don't blame him for liking Maeve, because that's the most sensible thing anyone can do on this show, but...
I have to tell them.
Fuck. Fuck.
Are you drunk? Just a bit.
Absolute mood.
What's she been telling you about me?
Nothing I didn't already know.
Oh shit. What's he gonna do now? Oh yeah, this is gonna save your marriage, pal. Well, that was a very good episode. I feel like there's a lot to unpack. And my goodness, where do we even begin? Everything is so messy. What storylines resolved themselves? I think the Anwar story didn't it? So that was cool to get a bit of focus on him, because we haven't had a lot of it, I guess, with that kind of clique outside of Amy when she kind of abandoned them for Maeve. I know they've all had like their own separate kind of storylines when Amy did Otis's help and everything, but they're not exactly like the front and centre focus, really, are they? So it's cool to get a glimpse into what Anwar's life is like, his own insecurities and the fact that he's never had sex before. And I really enjoyed Raheem's side to that story, and how he was just said like, oh yeah, I'll teach you all about this stuff. And he just go swallowing off into a classroom, teaching them all that. I found that really funny, actually. I liked that side of Raheem. Now that he is with Eric, I guess they can explore his own personality a bit more, other than just him kind of staring Eric down until they dated, really. So I liked seeing that side of things with him, and it just humanises Anwar a bit as well. I think there was a moment where he like complimented Eric's outfit or something, and you know, it very much is obvious that he puts on a front, I think, when he's like mean to lots of people. I don't think that's necessarily how he really is, and obviously there's a lot of insecurity and vulnerability to that, and that's why he does it. It's like putting on the mask. But I'm glad that he kind of realised that he just needed to talk things through with his boyfriend, and that seemed to resolve itself quite nicely. So I am glad, in an episode where everything went wrong for everyone, and nothing's going to be resolved yet, probably until the finale at the earliest. It was good that we did have one complete arc in this episode to kind of have some sort of structure to it. It wasn't just like, okay, stuff's going wrong, and you don't get even the tiniest bit of satisfaction from something actually being concluded storyline-wise. You know, we've got a lot of developments for all of them, but no, like, tying of loose ends, per se. But we did with Anwar's story, so I really liked that. And yeah, everything else, basically, though, was dramatic as hell, messy as hell, and I do kind of live for it, but also I'm in so much pain. I just want everyone to be okay and happy. They do such a great job of making you care about all these characters. I've written down, like, I've written down so many names that we need to talk about. Where do I even start? Let's just take it in the order I've written it. Screw it. The Jean and Maureen stuff. I love that those two have kind of formed this bond and this friendship. I just love seeing Maureen be so happy and free. Let's just get drunk and go dancing. Love that. How they showcase that adults also will go out and go dancing and get pissed and go to parties and stuff like that. It doesn't just suddenly end when you like leave school or uni, whatever. That still very much can be a part of your life if you choose it to be. I mean, I bet they're both hangover as fuck the next morning, don't get me wrong. But I loved seeing them just kind of let loose, and, you know, Jean giving Otis that space, I think shows some kind of change in a way from season 1, where he could better get away from her sometimes. It felt a lot, and she's writing a book about everything with that. But I think she recognised that there has been some growth in Otis in that moment where he like asked her, like, can you please leave the house so I can have a party? So I think she was like willing to respect that and just make some plans. And the vulnerability, I guess, in her drunkenness, when she admitted maybe there's been a mistake with Jakob and she actually missed him, but because Maureen didn't hear it, it was like, well, good, I can get it out loud, I can actually say it out loud, I don't necessarily have to face the consequences of it and not have anyone like push me to do anything about it, you know, if she so chooses. So that's cool, and that maybe is a spark of hope for Jean and Jakob. Maybe they will patch things up, because damn, that got messy. So I like that bit of vulnerability, especially because a lot of the friendship between those two has been about Maureen's vulnerability, and opening up to Jean about her own issues. I like that Jean is now in a comfortable place where, you know, admittedly in a loud nightclub, you know, drunk as hell, she still could open up to someone. When they were both being like, oh, I don't have many friends, that broke my bloody heart. Like, I mean, a lot of stories broke my bloody heart in this one, but I just really like that friendship and them showcasing that. And I loved Maureen getting back and still being like, Michael, fuck off. Like, we're not getting back together. But that has now pushed him to do some shady shit with photocopying Jean's notes and stuff. I don't know what his proper plans are going to be with it, but he's just an arsehole, isn't he? So that's not going to be great. I imagine it's going to threaten Jean's job at the school somehow, and that's going to lead to all sorts of shenanigans, and I'm not looking forward to it, because that guy sucks. Terrible father, terrible husband, and because he doesn't have any sense of power over anyone anymore in his home life, he's now begging Maureen to take him back. But I love that she was like, oh, F off. Well, that's what I was thinking. She didn't actually say that, but basically what she meant. So I love her continued like growth and the self-love she's kind of finding with herself. Love that so much, and I love that friendship with her and Jean. And yeah, I fear what Michael, I think Mr. Groff's full name is, I think it's Michael. I dread to think what he's going to do, but stir in the pot. Shady fucker. I think he'd get on very well with Isaac, I'd say. Those two both seem to like stirring some shit up. So we'll see. We'll see, but it's not going to be great anyway. But I love them showcasing, you know, the stuff with Jean and Maureen and everything. Love them. And let's just tackle maybe the lesser ones. I mean, we've got a bit of movement in the Ola and Lily thing. A negative development, granted, because Lily's been like, I don't think we can be friends now. But the fact that she said, I don't think we can be friends anymore, isn't, I don't want to be friends anymore. So I think she even said like, oh, it's confusing. So I think Lily's kind of got some stuff to maybe work out herself. Because the fact that Ola even mentioned like she thinks that Lee may have liked her back. So that's going to be an ongoing development, I'm sure. Hopefully those two can work things out, because I feel like that's going to be where it's ultimately headed, and I think that's a really cool pairing. It makes a lot of sense to me. So we got a bit of angst with that, but hopefully that will push through once Lydia has a bit of space to work things through. You know, Adam is also kind of opening up about how confused he was in this episode, so there seems to be a lot of that going around, which is, you know, a thing that people will go through. So I really enjoyed that they continue to put even a little bit of focus on that. It's just like letting you know, yeah, that story is still going on. It may not be the big focus of this episode, but this stuff is still going on in the background. And there was a lot of that by its very nature of this episode, because it had a whole party setting where lots of people were in the background having their own things going on. So yes, all of that was an absolute mess, wasn't it? Then yes, Raheem as well, and Eric, and and Adam, I guess we can throw him in that whole love triangle. Heck. I mean, I'm in two minds about it. I feel like this is the most I've liked Raheem just as a character in an episode. So I do think there was kind of a forceful side to him at first. But I do think Eric does generally like him. Although, what was it near the start of the episode? He didn't seem very thrilled about Raheem being like, well, I want to see, where you live. I want to see your family, stuff like that. I don't know if Eric might have been thinking, well, maybe I'm not ready for you to see that, but you've just kind of said it. So there did seem to be a bit of doubt there, and obviously a lot of that comes from maybe some wariness about his family in that situation, the fact that he's never brought a boyfriend home to meet them or anything, but also the whole Adam situation as well. But I do like that he kind of made it very clear to Adam where he stands right now. Just saying, you did bully me, you made my life miserable, made me feel unsafe for years and years. And Raheem is comfortable being with him openly. Adam's not, because he's working stuff out. So I like that he's kind of saying, that's where I'm at. I'm sorry, but this is how it is. And Adam does still have to kind of face up to the consequences of how he was before, even if it was coming from a place where, maybe he was feeling very insecure and angry about himself and his own life. He was taking it out on Eric because he was seeing someone who's very open and proud of who he was. And I think there was just some resentment there for a long time. So I feel bad for Adam's struggle in a sense. But the fact that he kind of kept just saying that stuff oh, I'm scared, I think I might be bisexual, stuff like that, it felt like almost, I like that he feels it's a step forward for him, I think, to actually openly say that to someone and actually say the words out loud to someone. That's a good step towards getting to a point where maybe he's comfortable being out in the open about it. But still a long way to go, and obviously if Eric doesn't want to wait around for that, especially for a guy who used to make his life miserable, I don't really blame him. But it also kind of seemed like Adam was like, oh no, be with me, you can't leave me on my own here, because I'm scared, and I'm saying all these, dramatic things now to kind of make him stick around for a bit. It felt like he was kind of trapping him a bit. I don't know if it was intentional, probably wasn't, but that's still kind of how it may come across at times. So there's a whole kind of crazy thing with that, isn't there? It's a very complicated relationship, I will give them that. So we'll see where that goes. But I like that Eric kind of made that stand against Adam in this one and said how it was. So that was all very well and good. And yeah, I really liked Raheem in this episode. And I liked that Adam and Ola also managed to take out their frustrations by smashing shit up. I like the bond that those two have kind of established when they working together at the shop. And then this episode, I hope that does become a really cool friendship. I think they both need friends, I think, and they're both they feel like the outsiders almost to everyone else, because Ola was relatively new to the school, Adam was kicked out of it, so the fact that they've kind of found a bond I think is really fun. So I like that they could at least have someone to lean on. Adam was there when Ola took that quiz and realised she might be pansexual, so there's a lot of stuff there that I think could mean maybe Adam could also be open up to Ola a bit, and that could help with his own development, so it doesn't need to necessarily all be about Eric to develop his character, so that'd be really cool. So I liked everything with that. How they shot the entire last sequence really, with them smashing shit up, and then it was just shots of the party and everything with that. Very chaotic as the episode was itself. So that was all very well and good. Not sure what's going on with Erin. When she came back from work and she was crying, Maeve noted it. She kind of just shrugged it off as allergies or something. I'm assuming there's a lot more to that. I don't know whether she's lost her job and she's just pretending to go to work, or she'd just been fired that day or something, or maybe the guy she was with before, maybe she's has another encounter with him or something. I don't know, but I felt there's going to be more to that to explore. But I do like that she is forming a much healthier bond with Maeve. I'm just hoping things aren't all going to go wrong again with it, because it'd be nice to just allow Maeve to have this proper family unit to stick around with, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, everything with that was quite something. And it was one of the more backgroundy things again, but I'm sure we'll get focus at a later date. What else? We got a bit of Amy as well. Ugh, I feel so bad for her. I mean, I'm sure her and Steve will kind of patch things up eventually. And what's sad is, Steve did. I think Steve knows something's up with her. He does know it's really affected her quite badly what happened to her. But she's just not in the space right now that she wants to be open to it with anyone really, especially not someone who she would otherwise be physically intimate with, and quite rightly so. She doesn't really want to experience that right now because she had a huge invasion of her own privacy, her own body. So I can't even really imagine what that must feel like really. So that really sucks because it's not like he really did anything wrong. It's just that absolute dickhead on that bus really fucking things up. But in a way, I think it will do Amy some good to just be like, I don't think I want a boyfriend right now. Taking some of that time on her own, maybe she just needs to be alone to kind of deal with it and regain her own sense of control over her life maybe, and then from there they can move forward. So I do feel bad because I really like Amy and Steve together, and again, Steve didn't really do anything wrong. But it's just, poor Amy. And we've got 2 episodes after the season. I feel like they need to properly focus on that at some point. In the next 2 episodes, I feel that needs to be like a big deal again, because it hasn't really been a big deal, I think, since the episode it really happened, per se. But yeah, it's just kind of, I feel like the last few episodes have been the calm before the storm, and then we had the storm in this one where it's really hitting Amy in her personal life, exactly what's happened to her and how it's affecting her. And maybe now we can work towards maybe the sky clearing up a bit, I hope, because she deserves the fucking world and I love her. So that was all very sad as well. And then we'll talk about, I guess, Maeve herself for a bit, and Isaac. He can bring him into it. I do like that Maeve, through a bad sandwich, got back on the quiz team. So that's something going for her again, which I really like. She's kind of, academically a big step forward for her because we know how smart she is. So that's cool. I'm glad the team had to eat their words about that, really. Just like, I think it was Poppy, just like Poppy ate that sandwich. And also Dex alongside that, the fact that his personality just seems to be a Rubik's Cube after all. I like that Viv's she got a bit bored of him at the party. I think she's kind of seen maybe this guy's just a bit boring. So I thought that was quite an interesting thing for her to kind of realise as well. But yeah, we all know how much I love Maeve. And just Isaac, I feel like we haven't really seen much of him, but I also feel like he's incredibly layered and complex, which is very impressive. And I think the actor's very good at it as well. He does such a good job at being like, do I hate you? Or do I think you're kind of funny sometimes? I did talk about it in the reaction, but I do feel like he enjoys stirring shit up, for sure. He enjoys watching the world burn. Maybe not quite to Heath Ledger Joker standards, but he certainly does enjoy. I think he very much liked Otis's drunken speech, because clearly he has his eyes set on Maeve, which is a mood, but if he doesn't like you, he will be a dick to you, and he'll be unapologetic about it. That I don't like. But if he is somewhat fond of you, he will be quite nice and funny. And when he was talking about how he got in a wheelchair and everything, I feel really bad about that, because that sucks and such an awful situation. And the fact that he didn't blame his parents for it per se, he blamed them more so for not ultimately being parents to him in the end. I thought that was really sad and interesting kind of link to Maeve and what she had going on with Erin for a long time, what she's only just properly starting to work through with it now. I thought that was quite an interesting way of linking those two, and I felt that might lead somewhere. And I feel like they've taken Ola out of the love triangle with Otis and Maeve, and now just put Isaac in, and oh please no. So we'll see, but I do understand how they formed a bond, but I also feel like Isaac's just kind of a dick. I still can't get a proper read on him, but I do feel like he just enjoys being an arsehole. So yeah, I don't know exactly where that will continue to go, because he's only really had scenes with Maeve thus far. You know, this was like the first time he met Otis and everything, and he's been around since I think the start of the season, however briefly it was. So he's only now probably getting a mix of different people and storylines, I guess. So I don't know if that's going to lead to some more developments with Isaac as a character or not. We'll have to wait and see. But my God, what a mess that all is as well. So we'll see what happens with him. And then everything with Jackson and that moment where it just all got back on top of him again now that he's got the cast off, and it was like, oh well, now you can go swimming again. All that pressure, you know, he had that release at some time. As soon as I saw he was getting it off, I was like, no, he's going to hurt himself again. Thank God for Viv coming in when she did just before he hurt himself, and that scene where she was like hugging his back and everything. Oh, precious. I love those two, and the fact that she also went to his parents as well and like told them both like that he did it himself and self-harmed and everything. I mean, I don't think he ever would have probably said anything, would he? And that may have ultimately got him hurt all over again, or even worse. It's such an awful situation. And the actor, oh God, he's so good. That scene where he was kind of like having, like, probably a panic attack as well. I had my first real panic attack 3 weeks ago, I think. It was close to a month now. I've had anxiety attacks before. I never had a panic attack, but I had one a few weeks ago. Holy shit, that's terrifying. So to be in that headspace again, I always get quite emotional in Jackson's scenes because that storyline resonates very, very strongly. But to kind of see him go through that pain and like talk about the pressure and stuff, like it's just I think they've portrayed that so brilliantly, and I love that Jackson does have someone like Viv, for better or worse. I feel like in the long run, Viv taking the initiative and being like, I just need to tell, you know, your parents about this. That probably will do him some good in the long run, because now he's out there, they know they can work forward, instead of him just suffering in silence. So I think he's going to be pissed about it, and maybe rightfully so, you know. But I think Viv just had a really tough decision to make there. She clearly has grown to care about Jackson a lot. He's been helping her, she's been helping him. They've clearly got, you know, they're really good friends now. So it shows a tremendous amount of care to put him first like that, and potentially even destroy that friendship just to, you know, make sure he doesn't hurt himself. I think that's incredible on her part, really. And because, again, I don't think Jackson's really had like a really close relationship with anyone. Even when he was with Maeve, you know, she ended up being more like, I like Otis, actually. So it's nice that he's kind of found someone in Viv like that who will put him first a lot of the time. But I don't think he's going to be happy about it right now. So I'm very intrigued to see what the reaction's going to be, mainly from pushy mum, like, you must swim mum, because she seemed fucking devastated, I must say, to be fair to her. I mean, there's no denying that she loves her son, and she didn't understand the situation. So I'm very intrigued to see what her reaction in particular is going to be like, and how they move forward from this. Because it's huge that Viv took that step. It's a shame that Jackson didn't take that step himself, but he might not ever have done that. You know, that's kind of the whole anxiety thing in a way. So yeah, I don't know how it's going to lead. I think it's going to get messy, and we had like him snap at Viv as well. And even when he like said, "Oh, you're a robot, Viv," and obviously he didn't mean any of that because he was just upset and in the middle of some awful stuff. But even after that, and she like stormed out all angry, you know, what did she do? She went and like told his parents because she still cares about him. Oh, I love those two. So I'm intrigued to see where that will lead. Could be interesting. Probably going to be devastating. But yeah, there was a big development in that story, and I'm very happy about that as well. And my camera's dying. That's not good. I think it's just Otis to talk about left though. This was not Otis's finest hour. I'll be the first to say it. And I'm a strong Otis defender most of the time, but oh buddy, drunk is not a good look on you. I mean, I get he's upset about Ola breaking up with him, and the whole situation with Maeve got very messy as well. And he certainly got all his feelings out. He certainly had no filter once the alcohol kicked in. But it all just spawned from, you know, oh, I'll show Ola that I can be like exciting, spontaneous, and throw a party, and like, well, again, you know, if a lot of people didn't just invite themselves, maybe it wouldn't have escalated the way it did. But you know, it's a series of unfortunate events basically that led to that moment. But yeah, he didn't make himself particularly good, and I don't know who was in bed with at the end there. I don't know if they went all the way or not. That's a big deal if they did. I didn't quite see who it was. I don't know if we were supposed to see who it was. Maybe when I'm editing and I rewatch it, I'll be able to catch a glimpse of who the girl was. But that's a big deal as well. But yeah, it's just... I understand where he's coming from. I understand his plight. And I understand, you know, when you're drunk. I've certainly said and done things I wouldn't normally do when sober. You know, the filter certainly will go. But my God, man, you should have stopped. So yeah, not a great look on him right now. But I think sober Otis will probably win the day and come through, and he will put the effort in and work hard, I think, to see the error of his ways and be the one. So he was like, oh, you know, well, Maeve can talk to me. I'm not going to talk to Maeve, until Isaac showed up and he's like, I'm going to talk to Maeve. I feel like he will be the one like trying to fix things actively in this situation once he's like sobered up a bit and realised what he's done, because he is a good person. He's also like a 17, 18-year-old, so still very young. And I think that's the first time he's got proper smashed as well. Or when he threw up into his own cup. Bit of a mess. So yeah, I'm sure he'll come through in the end, but that certainly wasn't his finest hour. But we've all been there, I suppose. Well, maybe we haven't. I certainly have, so I can kind of understand the plight. But to make a scene in front of literally everyone as well and say all this shit he definitely didn't mean about, you know, Maeve being, oh, she's the most selfish person I've ever met. Otis, please. You're just mad at her. So yeah, maybe he should have stopped and capped himself. I know Eric did try to stop him from drinking, but oh heck, what a mess. So yeah, not his finest hour, but I'm sure he'll push through and come through in the end. But man, lots of shit went down in this episode. I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with it next, how they're going to start wrapping all this up as we get to the end of the season, how they're going to set up season 3, which is obviously not that long away now. But yeah, messy AF, and I'm living for a lot of it. Some of it's also, you know, breaking my heart quite a bit, but damn, I'm, as always, absolutely loving the show and where all the characters' different journeys are going. I don't know where they're going to go with it, when they're going to focus on different bits. I'm excited to see what else they have in store and what the aftermath of all this is going to be properly. So we'll see, but lots of interesting stories being balanced out. And yeah, that's going to be everything for now. So until my next reaction, thanks for watching.